This video was originally recorded for Facebook, but has since been uploaded to YouTube with the hopes of inspiring a larger audience. Enjoy. Good Monday morning to you, fam. Listen, I want to come on here and do a quick, short, what? Don't say quick, man, because every time you say quick, it ends up 20 minutes later, you're still recording. For those of you that follow me on my channel, that I can't say on here, because the sentinels catch it. Anyway, yo, listen. Let me say this real quick, because I think last weekend was Easter weekend, not this last one, but the one before that. And some of y'all that celebrate Easter still, you're celebrating that quote unquote Christ died for us, and I'm just using that as a backdrop, all right? Because I don't celebrate Easter, but I don't knock those who do. If you ask the average quote unquote Christian person, why did the Messiah, I don't say Christ in my everyday vernacular anymore, but why the Messiah came to die? Why did he come to the world to die? And most of you will answer the way we've been programmed to answer. Oh, he came to be a sin sacrifice for the world. Came to be a sin sacrifice for Yasharal, Israel, but that's a different story. I'm not going down that path right now. The world, the world through his death. You know what? I'm not here to teach that. Let me give you the other reason why they don't teach this, or the other reason that they don't tell you why he died. All right. To do that, let me give you a little bit of history lesson. He came for the Israelites. That's in the scripture. All right. He said, I am come but for the lost sheep of Israel. Don't have the scripture right in front of me, but y'all can just web search that term I just said. I'm come but for the lost sheep of Israel. All right, so he said that. So we know he came for the Israelites. Why? Because the Israelites were selected. They were chosen a long time ago. They have fallen away they've fallen so far out of favor because they were doing the things that the other nations around them were suggesting was what they should be doing. And it was really a setup, but listen, I just dropped a video on that. I didn't drop it yet. I need to go in and edit it. It'll be in my something tube channel later. Don't want to trigger these algorithms, right? Anyway, that'll be up the latest today or tomorrow, because I had to break it into two parts. It was pretty lengthy, but y'all check that out later. Y'all know how to get at my other work. The point is, he came for them because they had fallen away. And so he came to be a sin sacrifice, a perpetual sin sacrifice for them, because he knew that they were going to get busted up and broken up and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and they wouldn't have their own land or their own country, their own setup anymore to do daily sin sacrifices or whatever, with the high priest who would also become corrupt too. But anyway, there was that, okay? But let's look at what was going on at the time that he appeared. They had Romans throughout the land, Roman colonizers, and Romans pretty much running their land. They had a puppet king, who the puppet kings were really from the lineage of Esau. They weren't even from the lineage of Jacob, but that's another story too. The puppet kings were from the lineage of Esau. So the Israelites that lived or from the tribe of Judah, or the Southern Kingdom Israelites, they were pretty much being completely controlled. All right. They had just gotten out of a war with the Greeks. So they hadn't had their land to themselves for a long time by the time he showed up. Again, they had the Greek incursion / colonization, and then they had the Romans after that. So a lot of these Israelites were speaking Greek. They were speaking and writing and learning Greek. They weren't even speaking their own language anymore. And so he knew what was coming, because he prophesied it to his disciples, or his inner circle. He pretty much told them that, the capital city was going to get completely destroyed, and the Israelites would be led away captive into all nations. That happened. All right. That captivity has not been called back yet, though it has been prophesied to be, but it hasn't been called back yet. The Israelites are still captive among all nations of the earth. All right. Now, but so let me get to this other reason to wrap this up. He knew that this was going to happen. So yeah, he had to be a sin sacrifice, because the wages of sin has always been death, right? That's written. Now, or the price has always been death. What is sin? Sin is breaking away from the instruction. Wages of breaking away from the instruction is death. All right. You give you instructions on not to do something that's potentially life threatening, and you do it, and you get deaded, and it's like, well, that was the price for the not following the instructions. I don't like to say the whole disobedience, because that triggers some of you guys. I talk about that in my video too. But real quick, The other reason why he came was to illustrate to the same Israelites that he knew were going to get sent captive all over the world that fear of death was the only way the people who really didn't care anything for them would ever be able to control them. Fear of death, right? So this is why he actually gave himself as a sacrifice and then rose again and reappeared in the same body so that they could see, look, I'm back. I'm here to tell y'all that you'll have everlasting life if you believe in me. People think that everlasting life means, oh, you're going to go to heaven and live forever. No, this life is eternity. This life is part of eternity. Your soul is an eternal soul. You've been here before. You haven't been. If you're here now, you've been here before. If you're here now, you've been here before. Okay. But that y'all ain't ready for that because these pastors ain't teaching, and it's like, well, if my pastor didn't say it, then it can't be true. This stuff's in the Bible. You just got to know how to open your eyes. You got to pray to have your eyes open up so you can see it. It's in there. If you're here now, you've been here before. So what he was trying to illustrate is, look, this is the same. I'm the same dude that they smashed 3 days ago. I'm back. So therefore, you don't have to fear death. Fear of death is the only way anybody's ever going to control you. These people in your land right now, they're going to control you for millennia if they can get you to fear death, right? That's what he was trying to illustrate. Don't miss that. Because what's happening today is they're controlling billions of people around the planet on fear of death from something that they created and threw out. Now I know the whole backstory on how it got created because it came right from the horse's mouth, but y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all been beating me up for a year and a half talking about why you don't like Bill Gates. I'm telling y'all that dude is the devil. He's the devil incarnate. Look what he's doing. Oh, but he's trying to save the world. He also said in 2010 that there was too many people in the world. Go look it up, all right? He said in 2004, briefing the three-letter gang, that he had biotechnology that could, basically the God out of you. Go look that up too. I'm done, y'all. I didn't mean for this to go past 5 minutes. It's 7 minutes. Yo, listen, y'all gonna have to bury the fear of death. Y'all gonna have to bury that. That's what the Messiah. That was the real meat. Yeah, he came to be a sin sacrifice. That was to make sure that you had coverage. Okay, so that the covenant to Abraham could be preserved. All right, he had to do that. But the other thing, the other reason for the resurrection, because he could have just died and not. Think about it. If he was going to be a sacrifice, he could have just died and then been gone, and that part was done. All right, but the resurrection was to illustrate something to y'all, and y'all are missing it. And now this dog in the background messing up my video. So let me get off of here, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Just want to give y'all that inspiration, drop a little lesson. Hopefully you got it. Hopefully you don't. I mean, you got it. If you don't, leave a comment, whatever. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because sometimes it ain't for everybody. Peace.